Welcome to the channel, to this 1,850 point battle between Chaos Space Marines and Space Marines. It's cleanse and control. We're back in the city ruins today, where the Chaos Space Marines are going to clash against Space Marines. A classic matchup. I'm bringing Iron Hands Chapter Tactics today and going up against a Nurgle themed Chaos Space Marines army. 40k, old school. But we are playing the Maelstrom game, Cleanse and Control. That's the game where you get 3 tactical cards a turn, every turn, and it is Dawn of War deployment. The Space Marines are deploying on this side, and there's an objective here, an objective there in their deployment zone, and Chaos on the other side. And the other 4 objectives are in no man's land. One here, one there, and one down there. The forces of Chaos will be deploying first and trying to get the upper hand against the Emperor's finest. Anyway, let's go and have a look at these armies. This is 1,850 points worth of Space Marines. It's a single combined arms detachment. I didn't cheese out and go with the Gladiator Strike Force versus Chaos Space Marines because, let's face it, our Chaos cousins need a little bit of help. The Warlord's a chaplain in Terminator armor. He's going to be rocking with 5 Assault Terminators and a Dreadnought, which are going to be embarked in that Storm Raven there with the Assault Cannons. He's going into battle with another HQ Librarian with a Storm Shield level 2 with 3 Grav Centurions. They've all got Grav. And he rolled Scry's Gaze, Precognition and Prescience, so basically what are Prescience. Then I've got 3 units of 10 troops. One of the squads has got a Flamer and Missile Launcher, and the other 2 squads come with Plasma, Combi Plasma and Missile Launchers. They've all got Rhinos. Brother Mathis is coming, Dreadnought with a Flamer and Auto Cannon, the trusty Thunderfire, and 2 separate units of attack bikes, just in case my opponent bought a bit of armor. There's multi-melters on there. So we have a nice balanced force. The Grav Centurions are coming for the first time, so I expect them to die horribly. Let's go and have a look at the Chaos Army. This is 1,850 points worth of Chaos Space Marines, also a single combined arms detachment, and everything that can get Marker Nurgle has got Marker Nurgle. Leading this big, smelly force is a Chaos Lord in Terminator armor with a Combi Melter and a Fist. He rolled on a Chaos Boon Table and he's got Toughness 6. Danny's brought this guy along because it makes the Plague Marines troops. So 2 units of 5 Plague Marines with a Fist and Plasma on both of the champions. There's also another Plasma in each of those squads and Havoc Launchers on the Rhinos. This guy will be joined battle with 3 more Chaos Terminators, all with Combi Melters. And that guy there, the Fist, the champion, he rolled on the Chaos Moon Table and he's got Feel No Pain. The big flying demon of Nurgle has got Plague Wind, Hemorrhage and Endurance, level 3 Psyker, so he's going to be very hard to kill. Talking about very hard to kill, he's got Warp Forged Armor, which is a 3+, and he rolled on mark on the Chaos Boon Table, and his armor save has gone up by 1, so 2+ Jink, 2+ armor save, fruity. We've also got the Helldrake Baleflamer.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. The Hades Auto Cannon Siege Engine Thingy Bob. 3 Nurgle Obliterators and a Nurgle Decimator. This guy's a troop killer. His Siege Claw is Strength 8 AP 2, and that gun there is Strength 6 AP 3, and it fires somewhere like 3 or 5 shots. You roll for it to see how many shots it gets. This thing can also deep strike, and after it's wrecked but not explodes, it stands a chance of getting back up again. It's not one of those overpowered Forge World units, but it's certainly got some very interesting rules. Anyway, there we have 1,850 points of Nurgle-themed Chaos Space Marines. Awesome. The forces of Chaos have deployed like this. The Helldrake is in reserve, obviously. The Terminators are deep striking, as is the Decimator. The Obliterators are in this ruin here. Interestingly enough, the Warlord trait for the army is Conqueror of Cities, so that's a +1 cover save to the Chaos units that are in ruins, plus move through cover ruins. Brutal. That was a very, very lucky roll there. Space Marine counter deployment looks a bit like this. I'm spread all the way along the lines. Only the Storm Raven is in reserve. One attack bike at one end of the table, one attack bike at the other end of the table. All of the Space Marines have combat squadded, and these two rhinos are still full. One of the combat squads of the missile launcher is here, keeping objective 5, and the flamer is in there. These are the plasma squads. I spent a long time trying to figure out how to deploy because the objectives are quite spaced out. There's quite a few open sight lines on this table. There wasn't anything that jumped out at me. Nothing seemed immediately favourable. Anyway, Chaos Space Marines are going first. The rumble of engines can be heard in the distance as these conqueror of cities start making their way through the ruins to the Space Marine lines. Let's go into Chaos, turn 1. The Chaos Space Marine objectives are quite simple. Seize ground, take objective 2 twice, and take objective 5. In the movement phase, the Obliterators climb up this ruin to get better shots at the Centurions, and the front line pushes forward. This Rhino is now securing objective 2, and the Psychic phase was a bust. Endurance failed and others blocked. Smite and Hemorrhage blocked. Then after that failed Psychic phase, the Obliterators fired las cannons down at the Rhino that used to be there and blew it up. One guy died and both of the squads are pinned. So that's first blood to the forces of Chaos. And they score objective 2 twice. That Rhino just skidding around on objective 2, which is a scatter field. So that's going to be a 2+ save for any forces of Chaos that happen to be in there. The Forge Fiend took some shots at the Centurions, but didn't manage to wound them at all. Anyway, at the end of that turn, it's 3 points to Chaos, 0 points to Space Marines, and we're going on to turn 1 for the good guys. Space Marine objectives are a mixed bag. Secure objective 4, Psychological Warfare, and Big Game Hunter. End of the turn for the Space Marines. The bikers nipped over here to score objective 4, and then with Scryer's gaze, I ditched Psychological Warfare and drew out secure objective 6. So at the end of the turn, all I managed to do was score objective 4. And then the Thunderfire had a shot at that Rhino, as did the Centurions, and I took a hull point off the Rhino, and the Dreadnought fired at the Forge Fiend and took a hull point off the Forge Fiend. And that's all I managed to do. These guys, their shots into the demon, nothing happened. These things flatten out round this side just to keep the Chaos player honest, just to give them something else to think about and ready to swoop round and flank later in the game. Chaos objectives in turn 2. Domination isn't going to happen. Secure objective 3. The Obliterators already control and behind enemy lines. It seems that they still want to seize ground. We've done the reserve rolls, the Helldrake's staying off, but everything else is coming on. You get 3 units in the enemy deployment zone, you get D3 points. Bits of battlefield debris, shrapnel, chunks of metal have pulled together, and this demon engine has formed in my backlines, deep striking in there. And this Rhino's pushed forward, and this Rhino has pushed forward, both of them after unloading their cargo. So that's 3 units in the Space Marine back line. He wanted the Decimator closer to this squad to drop its heavy flamer, but it scattered it a little bit. Still a good hit though. And then the unit that got out of that Rhino there got a good move through cover, and they're looking at the rear end of that Rhino. They've been pulled this way by the bait. The big demon has got endurance off and fired down on the bike, and the biker managed to jink everything that was thrown at it. But there is a demon. He didn't fly last turn, he didn't fly this turn. He's just been using the jump creature rule, so he will be able to charge. The Plague Marines won't be able to charge, but basically they should have no problem cracking open that Rhino, and then the guys inside are demon meat. The other squad from that Rhino is staying next to objective 6. The Obliterators are moving round to score objective 3, which is another one of the tactical objectives for the Chaos this turn. And the Terminators have dropped in here. He wanted to be further up the table, but he's dropped in here, so that bike or the Thunderfire are dead. Unless, of course, my Terminators come in and manage to rescue them at some point. So there's Terminators and Demon engines in the Loyalist lines. The temperature's suddenly turned up and we're moving on to the shooting phase. It was a very poor shooting phase for the forces of Chaos. The combi bolters failed to hurt the bike. The Forge Fiend took a glancing hit off the Dreadnought. Plasma cannon fire from the Obliterators was a bit more successful. One wound onto the Sergeant and one wound onto my Librarian. He's on one wound left. If he fails one psychic test, I'm going to lose him. So hopefully it will not die for the Iron Hands will come into play. And then around here, 2 glancing hits on the side of that Rhino, which made the Decimator turn and face it and shoot at its rear armour and did nothing. The Rhino is still kicking it. In the assault phase, that demon ripped open that Rhino, no problem, but it went very badly for me. The plasma guy in this unit killed himself while he was trying to overwatch from the top hatch, and now they're pinned, staring at a bunch of Plague Marines which are about to bear down on them, beat them to death next turn. At least the squad with a missile launcher are okay, but another failed pinning test there, I'm getting ripped apart. At the end of that turn, Chaos don't score domination, but they do score objective 3 and D3 points for behind enemy lines. That's 2 more points in total. It's 5 points to Chaos and 1 point to the Space Marines. Space Marine objectives turn 2. I ditched secure objective 6 at the end of my turn because there's an objective secured unit on it, and I've still got Big Game Hunter, secure objective 3 and 2, both of which are controlled by the forces of Chaos, but the Storm Raven is coming in. Objective 3 is down in this mess here, so with Scrya's Gaze, I've ditched that and got Witch Hunter, Killer Psyker, kill the big demon down the other side of the table with his 2+ armor save and his 2+ jink. The orders from High Command are very confused because Objective 2 is down here and these guys have got a 3+ cover save in Ruins, and that's a Scatterfield, a 2+ cover save. And their objective secured because they count as troops. So I've got to kill those front 2 there. The best way to do that would be with a Thunderfire cannon with a strength 5 ignores cover shell, but they'll still get their 3+ armor save. And then the attack bike has got to move forward, the Jinkin attack bike, to steal that from the forces of Chaos. So the Storm Raven is going to lend its firepower down there as well, and maybe I'll be able to get objective 2. Witch Hunter, however, I can't see that happening. So instead I think all of the guys here are going to throw shots into the Plague Marines. I don't know. I might try and shoot the Demon set. I don't know. And the squad that was here, that got blown out of their Rhino last turn and moving forward, if I fail to damage them, I could assault them with this squad, but there's a combi plasma there, and I won't be able to fire that. I won't be able to fire it because it's a rapid fire weapon. And if I assault them, I could pull them forward, and then they'll probably smash them, and then consolidate back onto the... it's decisions. The Librarian managed to cast Prescience without killing himself, and is going to take shots at the Obliterators. This Rhino with 5 guys in it and a Flamer are breaking cover and moving up the table just to be annoying, as is the bike getting away just to be annoying. I'm split up all over the place. I am confused. I am disorientated. The forces of Chaos are 4 points ahead of me. I don't know what I'm doing. Bolt rounds flying left, right, all over the place. I need to get my act together. I need to push back and push back hard. The end of the shooting phase, and I have killed 2 models. These guys prescienced up, took out 1 Obliterator and 1 wound on that fella there, and then the Thunderfire cannon, the Storm Raven, everything else pretty much shot at these Plague Marines with their 2+ cover save, 5+ feel no pain, everything that I can fire at them, and 1 died. I should say the Dreadnought got a hull point off that Rhino, which he'll assault later on. Missile launchers flying into the Decimator, doing nothing whatsoever. Terrible round of shooting, or rather great use of cover by the forces of Chaos. They are city fighters and they know this terrain well. They are not fazed by the Emperor's finest. It's going to take something special to shove the Plague Marines and the forces of Nurgle out of this city. The end of the assault phase, these guys failed their charge. It was suicide anyway, but they failed their charge. None of them died to Overwatch. I didn't manage to pull the Forces of Chaos off Objective 2. The Dreadnought, however, smashed that Rhino to pieces, so I do score Big Game Hunter, which means it's 2 points to Space Marines, 5 points to Chaos, and we're moving on to turn 3. All Chaos want to do is take this city back. Secure Objective 3, 6 and 1. There's Objective 3, they control it already. There's Objective 6. 1 is here and the Helldrake is coming to the party. With screaming engines, the Helldrake is on. He vector struck this bike on the way in, hurting it. And his flame template is going to come down and splash across those Space Marines, killing a bunch of them. The demon jumped over. He lost a wound when he cast Endurance, but he managed to pull Endurance off, and he's going to smash into the second squad, who lost a guy to Hemorrhage. So I don't think there'll be very many Marines left here at the end of this turn. And the Decimator's moving around, and he's going to fly into these Marines here. So I don't think many of them are going to be left this turn. Talking about not left, I didn't bother moving the Thunderfire cannon last turn because I didn't think there's any way I could get away from those Terminators, and those Terminators are going to smash face. The Obliterators moving up to the top of the building. They're on a Skyfire objective. That one there, still within 3, and they've got a clean shot with las cannons at the side of that Storm Raven as it came onto the battlefield. They fired plasma last turn, las cannons this turn. I'm going to have to jink. Plague Marines here have got shots. That's a plasma gunner. He's got a shot on the Centurions, and these ones are pulling back, consolidating onto 2, ready to hold it. The shooting phase wasn't very successful. The grav gun did put a wound on the Centurions after I lookout surge from the Librarian. The las cannons onto the Storm Raven forced the Storm Raven to jink, and it lost a hull point. One of the guys here is still alive and soul blazed from the Helldrake. He managed to kill none in this squad. And that's pretty much it. But we've got an assault coming on here with the Thunderfire. We've got an assault coming on here. Assault coming on there. Oh yeah, the Plague Marines back here managed to shoot and kill the attack bike in the backfield. But 3 assaults coming on. Let's see what's left at the end of this. In the assault phase, the demons smashed that squad there. Soul Blazer's gone out, smashed it utterly. And the Defiler killed 2 in this squad, and they're locked up. So they're going to be swinging away at each other for a while. Round here, of course, the Thunderfire cannon is utterly destroyed. So it's 2 more points for the Forces of Chaos. They scored 6, they scored 3. It's 7 points to 2 in favour of Chaos. We're going on to turn 3 for the Space Marines. Space Marine objectives are Ditch Witch Hunter last turn. I've got Harness the Warp, Kill the King, and Secure Objective 2. In the movement phase, I was going to move the Centurions round to take on the Obliterators, but seeing as I pulled out Kingslayer, they're going to have to stay back here and focus on his Warlord. I did get Prescience off, but that's the only psychic power I did get off, so no D3 points for Harness the Warp. Rhino tucking in. Attack bike also is going to take some shots in at these guys. They're getting a 3+ ruin save. Nasty. The Dreadnought is going to fire up the table along with a missile launcher here who stayed still. His squad consolidated so that they were still in coherency. But the big mess is here. Storm Raven has dropped out. He's in VTOL mode. And the Dreadnought's going to charge the Demon after I've shot everything I can at him while he jinks away on a 2+. And the Terminators are going to try and charge the Plague Marines and take Objective 2. I can't fail that charge. The Forces of Chaos are 7 points to 2. They're controlling this fight so far. This is a critical moment here. I need to regain control. Combined fire from here, drop that demon down to 1 wound, and then the Dreadnought went in and smashed it. Dreadnought took 1 hull point back, but the demon is dead, and I wish I kept Witch Hunter in my hand last turn. Talking about assaults, the Defiler smashed the last 3 of those Space Marines there and is consolidating towards these fleshy targets here. The Hammonators did make it into the assault. I lost 1 on Overwatch and 1 in the combat, and there is 1 Plague Marine left, a jammy little git so I don't score objective 2. I also don't score Kingslayer despite prescience, despite the grav amps. There were so many 3+ cover saves made by his Warlords unit here. One Terminator died, the Warlord took a wound. They're still kicking it, they're still very, very strong and quite angry. As soon as they step their toe out of that terrain though, I think my Centurions are gonna have them. Turn 4 for Chaos, and they still just want to seize ground. Ascendancy, take any 3 objectives, and take objective 1 and take objective 6. I control objective 1, Chaos control objective 6, and they're going to have to do some shuffling around to get ascendancy. The end of the movement phase, and the Helldrake just tore the Storm Raven out of the sky, came crashing down, blew up. In the explosion, that Plague Marine died and freed up those Terminators from objective 2. Currently, the Chaos Space Marines control objective 3 and objective 6, so to get ascendancy, the Rhino's busted forward, he hasn't got immobilized, and he's within 3 inches of objective 5. Got to kill these Space Marines. I can see a template coming in, I can see the Defiler, the Decimator going in to try and kill them, and if those Space Marines are removed, then that will be ascendancy. Meanwhile, the Warlord sticking to the ruins is going to pop the rear of that Rhino with their combi melters. Anyway, let's move on to the shooting phase and see how they do. In the shooting phase, the Helldrake burned these 3, the remaining tactical squads there, so they control objective 5, the Forces of Chaos. And a Terminator died to plasma fire coming in from the Plague Marines over on objective 6. That was pretty much it. The Terminators here with their combi melters only managed to stun and strip another hull point off the Rhino there. And then in the assault phase, the Defiler Decimator failed its charge. So Chaos score a point for securing objective 6 and D3 points for ascendancy. So that's another 2 points, bringing their score to 9 points to 2. 9 points to 3, sorry. Space Marine objective secure, objective 2, 3 and Kingslayer. Okay, on this side of the table, the Terminators, what little it remains of them are making their way towards these Plague Marines. Hopefully they'll have enough punch to take them off objective 6. And the squads in the back corner are securing objective 2. But I'm not going to be able to get objective 3 this turn. I might have been able to if that Rhino wasn't stunned. It could have swung around here, but no such luck. So everything else, the Centurions, the squad from the Rhino, this attack bike here, are going to focus on the Warlord unit. He can't make that many cover saves again, can he? I've got to kill the Warlord. I've got to get Kingslayer. And then in this part of the table, the Dreadnoughts beginning their mopping up action to take out these vehicles. Chaos have triple the number of points than me at this stage. It is turn 4. I've got to do something glorious. In the Psychic phase, I managed to get Prescience off and Scryer's Gaze and pull out objective 4, so the bike, which was going to lend fire into the Obliterators, hopped over and took objective 4, which is nice because the King is dead. The Flamer, the Bolt Gun fire, the Grab fire, so much firepower washing over the Warlord of the enemy army. A great cheer. A really great cheer erupts over the loyalist lines. And honoured brothered Matthias managed to smash the Decimator to pieces in the assault phase as well. So that's 2 scary units knocked out of commission. But this Dreadnought failed the charge after stripping a hull point off that Rhino. And the Terminators failed their charge into the Plague Marines as well. So Chaos have very little left, some Plague Marines, some Obliterators, the Forge Fiend and the Helldrake, but I have very little left, just a few guys smattered here and a few guys smattered there, which are no doubt Helldrake fodder in a very short period of time. But I do score objective 2, I do score objective 4, and I get Warlord kill, which makes my score go up to 6. 6 points to 9, plus D3 points for Kingslayer. Please, 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 please. It's 9 points each. We're moving into turn 5. Chaos objectives in turn 5. Secure objective 5, which they already have. Secure objective 1, which I have. And no prisoners, just kill stuff. End of the movement phase, and Chaos needs to kill as much as possible. So the Helldrake has dropped into hover mode and is going to spew his flame template across these 2 units here. And if he's lucky, that'll be 2 units dead for no prisoners. And the Forge Fiend, wounded, belching smoke with 1 gun remaining, is going to fire into them as well. But he needs to kill 3 units for D3 points for no prisoners. So the Obliterators, their las cannons primed again, are going to fire in at that Rhino, which is on 1 hull point left. And as luck would have it, the Decimator is back up. It counts as deep striking this turn, and it's recovered itself. It's on 2 hull points. And I think my Dreadnought's going to have to turn around and smash it again. I really wanted to throw myself in at that Rhino because that Rhino's got objective secured and it's holding on to objective 5. Chaos aren't going to get objective 1 this turn, but they really have to have a good shooting phase with the few units that they have remaining. It's mission successful. The Obliterators wrecked the Rhino, it didn't blow up, and the Helldrake killed every single one but 1 of these Space Marines, and the Forge Fiend killed the last 1. So that's 3 units killed for no prisoners. Shots came in on here from the Plague Marines onto the Terminators and didn't do anything. Shots from the backfield across onto the Terminators didn't do anything. So Chaos score objective 5 and D3 points for no prisoners. Ooh, 4 more points. It's 13 points to 9 for Chaos, and we're moving on to Space Marines turn 5. Tough orders for me. Domination I can't do, not enough units. No prisoners, just kill stuff and scour the skies. Get rid of that Helldrake. Same deal for me, I need to kill 3 things and scour the skies. So that Dreadnought is going to have a go at one of these things, not sure yet. This Dreadnought is going to try and rip the Helldrake out of the skies, which it should give me scour the skies. Hopefully that's 2 units. The Terminator's making the charge, maybe 3 units. And all of this lot here firing up at the Obliterators. If I kill them, 4 units, I've got some redundancy there for this D3 for no prisoners. Bike zipping backwards, he's in range of the Obliterators and he's line breaking as well. So let's pull the trigger. Bomber turn 5, the Centurions rinsed the Obliterators. The Dreadnought destroyed the Defiler in assault, and this Dreadnought blew up the Helldrake with his multi-melter, earning Scour the Skies, D3 extra points for no prisoners. We rolled a dice, I rolled a 5, that's 3 points, plus 1 for Scour the Skies, 13 points each, and then we rolled a dice to see if the game ended. And this is the way the world ends. 13 points to 13. The Chaos Space Marines have Linebreaker. I've got Linebreaker, 14 points to 14. It is a draw. My Terminators went wheeling in to assault there. I managed to kill 2 of them, but the Claw chap, my sergeant, died in a challenge to this guy with a power fist. And they're still locked up at the end of the battle. Apart from these Plague Marines, who are soon going to die, or actually they stand a good chance, it's a 50-50 there. And the Rhino, and this thing, that's all the forces of Chaos have left. But when we look around the table, I've got precious little left as well. I've got 2 Dreadnoughts. The Centurions are squad there. The bike, I've got enough small units wheeling around here or there. I could win this if it went on for a few more turns, but it hasn't. Fate has decided that the game must end. The orders have come in from high command and both forces are going to retreat. Even though I'm in ascendancy at the end of the game, I'm quite pleased with the draw because, let's face it, Chaos controlled this battlefield for most of the game, and it was only some luck at the end that managed to pull the dice gods back in my favour. To be honest, I think I just got away with this one by the skin of my teeth. Or maybe the forces of Chaos got away with this one by the skin of their teeth, because I'm about to kill them, right? I was about to win. Anyway, a hard fought draw, a close battle. The Plague Marines Nurgle does not control the city, no one does. We're both retreating to our battle barges, ready to fight another day. So thank you very much for watching, and happy wargaming.